Aloha everyone, I'm Mike Ferris and coming at you from the Big Island. I'm doing this still life pineapple piece step by step, so stay tuned to the end if you're following along so you don't miss any lesson details, and check out the description box below for a list of colors and materials. So now getting started, I have an 11 by 14 inch pre-stretched canvas and I have two papers cut seam to seam and taped on the back and cut to my canvas size with 1-inch squares that are numbered vertically and horizontally. This just helps me to proportionately lay out everything in its correct sizes. So I've got these irregular hexagon shapes as you can see here, and you can put these in any way you want. I didn't actually use the grid method to draw those shapes, I just kind of randomly stuck them in there. So on the back I did put some wax transfer paper down and my stylus to trace out this image, and I did put a video link in the description box for more information on how to transfer images to canvases, so do check that out if need be. So now I've got my number 18 flat brush here, and on my palette I'm starting off with some Cad Yellow, some Phthalo Blue, titanium white, and just a little bit of this permanent black. So I'm going to start with some yellow and some blue to make this green, and to that just a little speck of this black here just to make it dull. And to also make it darker, I want to start with this shadow green color. And so with this, I'm just going to go ahead and start filling everything in, and this is just going to be a block in of base color for now, and I'm not worried about really being perfect about my lines, because if I go outside later I can just take some titanium white and cover anything that goes out of my lines here, and that'll be just fine. So just going to block in for now with this. Okay, just going to give it a quick dry on medium heat with the hair dryer, and this just allows me to put a second coat down and have more of it covered up and less transparency. So now I'm going to take my number 10 flat brush here, and you can use whatever brush you want. This is just what I'm comfortable using. So I'm going to take that same green color and a little bit more black this time. I want it a little bit darker, and this is going to lay down nice on that first dried out coat, and this will be for a much darker, more effective shadow color. So now what I want to do is take that same color and I want to go behind some of these leaves here. And so this really brings out some 3D dimension and show some stuff happening in the back. Okay, just another quick dry on medium heat so that I can put more values on top without those blending in and making just one color. So now with that, I'm going to take some yellow and titanium white, and I want to start making some of these highlights. And with that same value of color, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to start making some of these leaves that are coming out of the shadow area. And I'm going to have them point and fold towards me. And this is going to show the 3D and realism effect of this branch, or I'm sorry, the stalk I should say, and all the leaves that are folding in different directions. So as you can see there, I have them folding towards me. as well as the ones on the sides that we did before. So any way you want to randomly do this is just fine. Just have some of them kind of close together like so, and kind of have them sort of wedging towards you like this. And I'll come in there and we'll add some more values and show more stuff. So now I'm going to take again more of this titanium white and some more of this Cad Yellow, and let's go on some of the leaves as well and do some highlights. Okay, after picking out some things with those highlight colors, I'm going to give it another quick dry on medium heat, and let's put some more values down. Okay, and let's make this even more vibrant on the highlight stuff. So let's take some more yellow and some more white. Just a teeny touch of blue, I mean barely any at all. So with more yellow and white, and again on top of this dried stuff, this is going to really lay down nice on top of that. And of course I don't want to cover up all the values, I want them all to play together. This is what shows depth and dimension, by having all those different values of green showing together. So now as you can see, I'm just going to hit some of the highlights, and I'm not going to cover up the whole entire leaf. I want some of that to get darker, see, like so, and that looks like it's fading back into the shadow area like that. And that really helps to show its dimension and how it's coming out of the shadow and the light transition and how it would naturally fade back like that. So this is just going to be here and there, but not everywhere, as the motto goes. And just going to hit some of the tips outside like so. And just kind of decide where you want to pick out stuff and where it should be. Okay, let's get real fancy and detailed now. So what I want to do now is take a different value of green now, something that's in between the dark shadow color and our bright highlights. So I'm going to take some yellow, a tiny bit more blue, but not much more, and a little bit of white. As you can see next to all those other values, it's a little different. And right in here, this is going to really show some details of how the leaves of this stalk are bending towards me a little bit. See, like so, that shows some of the leaf coming at us. And by having this value not so bright, but not of course as dark as the shadow stuff, it really shows that in between and shows that that is getting a little bit darker in the shadow, but you can still see some of the plant details. So that really helps make that real and more 3D effect. Okay, now that we got some details and dimension established, let's take some more white and just a touch of yellow. And let's really go in there and vary here and there, but not everywhere. Let's touch up some of these bright, direct light highlights shining off some of these leaves. Okay, so now on my palette I've got Cad Orange, Magenta Red, some raw umber, and burnt umber. So I'm going to start on the pineapple now, and I'm going to take permanent black and some of this raw umber mixture together. And with my number 10 flat brush and the edge of it, I'm going to go through and just do some of the lines, and this will be some of the cracks and the crevices for now that'll be in between the eyes. Okay, so now I'm going to take some of this Magenta Red now, and I'm also going to mix up into that. By the way, this is my 1/4" angle brush that I'm using. You can see it's got that tip on it. That's going to help me get into these octagon areas, or hexagon, whatever they are. So I'm going to take some of this burnt umber now to that red, and some of this Cad Orange. So this is a very dull orangey red color. And I'll start filling in some of the eyes here, but I'm only going to go down the middle and do sort of like a row of 3 down the middle, because red is actually more of a shadow color in this case. And then I'm going to put just orange with some other colors and no red on the outsides to indicate our light source. Okay, and now I'm going to take some of this orange now and some raw umber into that just to dull it down a bit. And I did clean my brush, so there's no red involved now. And on these ones now going out, I'm going to avoid the red, like I said, because we're going to show that the middle of this fruit is going to be a shadow on it from the fruit in front of it. And on the outsides, it's going to be more light hitting it. So just with this color now, I'm just going to fill in the rest of these. Okay, so right here I've got some white showing there. It's a little blank, so I'm going to take some shadow color now. It's that dark green again, and this time some more black to that. And I'll just fill this in, and this will be the darkest shadow in this piece. Okay, let's change the value now. Let's take again that orange and this burnt umber mixture. Just a little bit of burnt umber, not much. And now this time some titanium white to lighten this color now. So with this lighter value, I want to go and just apply this and not cover up all that dark value that I put first. And this will be the start of building some layers and some depth and texture. Okay, now let's get some of this raw umber and some permanent black to that. And with this dark value now, I'm going to go on top of these pentagons or these hexagons or whatever they are. And let's make some of these star shapes here, or like pluses or whatever. And these don't have to be perfect. This is just some blocking stages still. We're just getting some general shape and colors where they go. So just kind of follow along and trust the process. It will work out, and this will start to make some sense. Okay, and another quick dry on medium heat, and I'll be able to put some values down and adjust some of this mess. And it's all good because I need this mess, and you'll see why. So now I'm going to take my number 2 flat brush, and I'm going to take some orange now again and some of that burnt umber, and this time a little bit more white. You can see how much more lighter it is. And I'm going to go on here now and I'm going to create just some of these, again, star shapes, and I'm going to leave some of that dark. And this is where it starts to get pretty cool, because as you're going to see, it's going to create these little raised sort of little peaks that are all over the pineapple on all these eyes here. So just kind of something like this right here. Okay, after that, a clean brush, and now I'm getting some black and some of this raw umber together again. And let's go in now and reinforce some of these cracks and crevices that I did before. Okay, so now I'm going to get some Cad Orange and just a teeny bit of this burnt umber to it. And I'm looking for more of an orangey color and a little bit of titanium white to bring it up a bit. And now just a little bit of paint on my number 2 flat brush. And so I just want to scratch around what I've already done, just this nice little indication of some of this orangey, nice ripe glow showing. Okay, so without cleaning my brush, I picked up just a tiny bit of red, and same thing right in here. And again, I want red involved because red is going to show more of a shadow area, and then the orange with the white on the outsides will help to show that transition within the light. Okay, now with a clean brush, number 2 flat brush again with some permanent black and some raw umber mix. Let's go back in now and do some of these crevices, and I also want to reapply some of those in the middle like so, and show some of these indications as well. Okay, so now I'm just going to take some titanium white to that same mixture, and no cleaning yet. And so kind of right next to this darker shadow stuff, as you can see, I'm going to go in there again. So this is what it's all about in the acrylic world. You go in, you go out, you come back in with another value, the same value, repeat, and by doing that each time, you build up another layer of color that looks more full. It brings out more of a photographic type of look. And more layers means it just begins to look more real and more texture, because the values, they start to really show through one another, and it really takes the effect of realism very well that way. So again, just taking some of that dark now, and as you can see, I'm going into those crevices areas again and just reapplying that. So now just some titanium white, and now some Cad Yellow this time, and more titanium white actually. I want to get this really bright now, and so out here, and I want to start showing a little bit of light play. This is going to be our light coming in on this side as well as the other side. It's kind of hitting from both sides, and then of course, like I said, you got that shadow in the middle, and that's what that red is going to indicate, and then just the orange, and of course this lighter stuff on the outside. So again, just here and there, and I'm just going to brighten up these things. I don't want to cover up all the values that I've put down before, and letting those other ones play and show through along with this light value. Okay, so now getting some more titanium white, and as the motto goes, here and there but not everywhere, and only on the sides, because light doesn't always strike our eye at the same time directly in everything. So I kind of want this playing and bouncing off, so randomly just kind of hit this however you want. And now I just want to sort of streak in these little lines like this. This shows kind of the peaks of these eyes, as you will, on the fruit here. So just gonna hit some of those here and there, like I said, and bring out some of these highlights, and this really makes it pop against some of that black and those dark crevices. And again, more layers and more texture and more realism coming at you. Okay, I want to mess with the color down the middle again and show it more in the shadow, so I'm going to take that red and that orange again, and just a little bit of paint, and again my number 2 flat brush, and as you can see, I'm just going to lightly just scratch around some of this that I've done, and this is going to really show that indication of shadow between how it changes from a reddish look to more of an orangey look as it light hits it on the outsides. Okay, now I'm going to go back and hit some of this orange and yellow, and now some titanium white to that to bring that up a bit. And I want to go into the light source area now, and I really want to separate the difference on the color change here and start hitting some of this in the same way. Okay, let's go back to our orange and red now. And again, down the shadow area once more. Okay, now I'm just going to take just a pinch of yellow here and mostly titanium white. And with this hint of yellow and this white, I'm going to go on the light source sides here. And once again here and there, but not everywhere. Okay, and again, I'm going to take some black and some raw umber mixed together now. And let's go back into our crevices and let's redefine and let's cause some more dimension. So as you can see, it's just a repeat again. And you go in again and again. And so however many times you want to build this up and go in with your values and do the same thing, it's all up to you. And just know that every time you do, that this creates more of a photorealism type of picture. Okay, so again, just going to take some red and some orange, and let's go back in and do the same thing. Okay, so now I'm going to mix up again some permanent black and some raw umber. And going into my crevice areas, I'm going to come out of those now, and I'm going to start making these little things that are coming out. As you look at the side of a pineapple, you can see the eyes. They have these little peaks and these little twirly doos, I think where the flowers were, and then they like shrink and they wilt, and so they have these little pointers that come out. See, something like this. So kind of make these randomly. Sometimes they curl up, maybe sometimes they curl down like this, or they just come straight out. So if you mix it up a little bit, again, that'll create some realism effect and give it some more interest to the eye. So I'll go ahead and do this on both sides. Okay, so now I'm going to take some Cad Orange again and a little bit of Cad Yellow. And once again, I want to go in here and scratch in some of this color around some of this stuff. Okay, now just grabbing titanium white now, and I really want to bring out these bright highlights and some of these random direct highlights as they would be hitting. So just kind of wherever here and there, and I'm going to put more of them on the left and right side again because those are the light sources hitting on both sides there. So I want it really, really bright on the very ends like so. Okay, so now picking up my number 10 flat brush now, and some white and a big scoop of yellow here. I am going to go ahead and start to block in all of this pineapple, and I'm not worried about covering up any of my lines because this first coat, and especially with yellow, you'll see right through it. So this again is just base coat, and we're going to build on top of this. Okay, and again a quick dry on medium heat, and this will allow me to put another coat down. Okay, and now just another coat of this yellow again. Okay, so now I'm going to get some Cad Orange into this mix now. And with this yellow orangey color here, I want to make the rind here on this one and bring this down. And as I get onto this yellow value now, as I come out here, I just want to use very little pressure again, and I want to blend that in and make this like a really nice transition. And with that same value, let's put it on the rind for this one as well. Okay, so in that same mixture, I'm just going to take some of this burnt umber to it to dull it down and make it just a little bit darker. And I want to make the rind a little bit more distinct there on the pineapple. So right here, I'm just going to put that right along on that line like so. Okay, so now I'm going to take some Cad Orange and again some Cad Yellow. And I want this to show up as well a little bit more. So I'm going to just put this on very lightly, and I want to blend this up again into that yellow value. Okay, now I'm going to take some burnt umber, and to that now some raw umber to that. So with these two browns, I'm going to go down on the rinds here, and I just want to put just a couple indications, and again I don't want to cover all values up, I want them all to play together, and we know why, because of depth and texture and all that stuff. So just here and there, just going to put that on, and we'll put some other values and knock some of that back. Okay, now I'm just going to take some titanium white. I did not clean my brush yet. And let's go on the rind, and again I'm just going to knock back some of that dark value and put some of this highlight here and there. Okay, now I'm just going to take some Cad Yellow and Orange again, that same orangey yellow, and let's go on this one here, and just again I'm going to lightly put that on, and very little pressure to build that, or sorry, to blend that up into that yellow value. Okay, now let's get our highlight color in here for this, and let's get some white and just a touch of yellow into that. And let's take this very light yellow now and let's build up some highlights with that. Okay, now I'm just going to take just a teeny bit of black, and I'm going to take some Cad Yellow to that. And so this is a very, well, not a very, but a darker value, I should say, of yellow. This is going to be our crevice and our shadow color. So let's start to apply that where the fruit is separated by the other from the shadow it's casting in between each other, and also like some of the grooves within the fruit itself. Okay, now let's take some of this Cad Orange and this Magenta Red, and to that let's put a little bit of raw umber into that as well. And with this little bit of darker value now, I want to go in, and this will be some grooves on the other part of the fruit, and I'll also put it where I also put the other grooves, but notice how I don't cover again all that value up from before, because this really creates more realism and it shows a deeper part of the crevice of the fruit as the shadow transitions more into light as it comes out. Those light transitions really give a lot of dimension and depth and really shows a lot of this 3D effect within the fruit. So now I'm just going to take that brown and that darkened down orangey color there. Let's make some of these little scratch grooves there and show some texture on that rind, and let's put a little bit here for a bit of a shadow. Okay, so now I'm just going to pick up some more Cad Orange, and let's go right here on this part. And again, I just want to put very light pressure and sort of blend that down into this. Okay, now I'm going to pick up that black and yellow, and this will be for a shadow. So I want to go over this color right here and put more of this, more what I felt was appropriate, because it's still yellow, but it's a value that's different. So as you can see now, I'm turning my canvas upside down, and this is just to help my ergonomics and where my wrist location is. Do what you need to do. If you need to turn your canvas, by all means, definitely do that. So just going to put those shadows in like so. Now I'm just going to get some Cad Yellow and some orange into that. And I did clean my brush, so there's no black on the brush anymore. And so now with this orangey color again, let's go back in here. And I want to knock back some of this shadow color just a little bit. Okay, just taking that orangey color now, and I just want to settle these hash marks down just a little bit. Okay, now I just want to take some plain Cad Yellow now, and I just want to go in there and sort of redefine and knock anything back and settle anything down that maybe stands out a little bit too much. Okay, without cleaning now, just picking up titanium white, and with this very light yellow again, I want to go back in and redefine and rediscover my highlight colors. Okay, so notice as I put that light color down here, I'm going right next to those dark groove colors there, and this is what really pops those out and gives that texture and dimension to the fruit, showing those raised areas there and then the inward groove areas. So putting these lights and shadows in like this really brings that out. Okay, and right here I just want to strike this with that highlight color, really makes that pop and brings that out. And just put a little bit of that right down on here like so. Okay, now with a clean brush I want to take some of this permanent black and this white and a touch of raw umber into that. And let's make a shadow color now. Let's go right underneath the pineapple and let's cast one for the wedges as well. Okay, without cleaning now, I'm just going to take some titanium white and I want to make this fuzzy around the edge like so. And I'm going to knock back some of this shadow and make it a little bit lighter. And I'm not going to take it all the way because as you can see it's very dark right underneath the object that the shadow's coming from, and so that makes very realistic shadow play in this way. Okay guys, so with my black paint pen now, I'm just going to sign this piece right here, and I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining me, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any video lessons I'll be putting out on a regular basis. And I'm trying to aim for at least one video a week. I know it's been 2 weeks apart lately and even longer in some cases, so I do apologize. I've been building a house and you know how busy you can get doing that. So anyway, with that said, leave comments and questions down below. Love to hear from you guys, and until next time, happy painting everyone.